Hello and welcome to the art stream. I have gotten a lot of questions about how I do stuff, like how I draw, how I color, what kind of programs I use, all that kind of stuff. And I figured instead of making videos that's not even a word, but making several videos to answer all those questions, I would do a live stream. And then if I missed any questions, it's a live chat, so you can ask them. My brother has graciously agreed to watch the chat so that he can filter in questions, and then I also have the chat going on the stream itself as well. So, that being said, let's go ahead and pop into it. Before we get started, if you follow this channel at all, I've seen some of our other content and stuff that I've posted and we've posted as a group. You might know that we are working on a full-feature animation film, and that is still a work in progress. We stopped doing updates on it only because our full focus has gone towards actually making it, and it took a lot of time to work out to get the videos together. So, but there's still progress going on that, and we will do updates as it makes sense into the future. So anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this here. I thought before I would start at the actual drawing process, I wanted to address a question that I get constantly, and that is, what do I draw on and what program do I use? And let's just get into it. What I draw on is called an XP Pen Artist 16, and this is actually a new, it came from the Huion, it's called the Huion GT 190 drawing screen, which was the first drawing screen that I got, which I liked. I mean, it's off-brand. The top of the line is obviously a Cintiq, and those can get really expensive. So the XP Pen is also on off-brand, but it is better than the Huion. The screen is, gorgeous, and it's a really nice screen. It's really nice. Okay, so the second thing I use is a Logitech G13 gaming board, and that is basically I use that for all of my hotkeys and shortcuts. So you'll probably hear that tap, and as we go on, and I do undo and grab shortcuts to the pen that I use and those kinds of things. I use that for this. This is not necessary with this particular drawing screen because along the side there is shortcut keys. I'll hop right back over to the XP Pen. You see those little buttons on the side? Those are actually built into the screen and they can be used as shortcut keys, but I started on the Huion, which did not have those shortcut keys, and so I'm not used to using them. I really just like the G13, so that's what I'm using. And of course, what I actually draw on the program that I use is Clip Studio Paint, and I actually started using the Manga Studio 5, and then they made the Clip Studio Paint, so I upgraded to that, which was really nice. So, and it was actually the EX program, which I looked on Amazon, and the Pro version's like $20, but the EX version, Garen, is like $160 for Clip Studio Paint, and we get that because we had the EX version of Manga. So, wow, pretty crazy on that whole front. But anyway, that being stated and said, those are the things that I use. So, yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get into the actual drawing process. I have Killpro's asking the donation question. I haven't been watching the chat. I'm sorry, I've been talking, but I do have the super chat set up as well. Which is, I don't really know how that all works, but I set that all up with a click of a button. It was really easy, so I don't know how it works. Anyway, that is there as well, if that's a thing. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. What I'm going to be drawing is a profile, because those are what I do the most, and, yeah, so let's do it. I have the reference here. This is actually my last Inktober drawing, and yes, before you say anything, I know it's the middle of November, or what is it, the middle of November?
It's beginning, middle.
Yeah, okay, we're the middle, beginning, whatever, and, I get that, it's not October anymore, but, I'm slow silver for a reason. So anyway, my last Inktober drawing is...
Quicksilver.
Huh?
I think that'd be Quicksilver.
No, I'm slow silver, so I've been slow to the Inktober.
After. Oh, slow to Inktober.
Yeah. Anyway.
I promise you I listen.
Yeah, I see that. It's fantastic. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. I've got a reference. I gave away the last, 7 Inktober drawings as profile pictures. I don't know if you were around for that, but that happened. So anyway, the last one here is of... I don't want to butcher this name because I think it's so cool, but Floshke? I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's going to be his profile here. So the very first thing that I always start with, I do not do sketches for profiles, and the reason is because my sketches end up being super clean and they just like doing line work, because I don't know if I've just done them a lot or whatever, but I'm starting to just do the ink, because I now color my lines as well, so the line work doesn't show up as much as it used to in the past, so it still can be clean and crisp, and with the color it works great. Why is that a thing? I don't know, we're dealing with green screen, so you know, that's a thing. Okay, anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I know I keep saying that I'm going to get started. So I don't start with a sketch on these. I start with a line width. My sizing of my screen here is I do 5,000 pixels by 5,000 pixels at 600 DPI, which is enormous, unnecessarily big. But because I draw on pixels, I really don't like the pixely look when trying to get in and doing detail, and so I just do a monstrous piece. Also, too, if they are commissions, you kind of want to make sure they're big, because you can always downsize, but you can't always go up. So, okay. Anyway, that being stated, let's go ahead. I use the G pen to do all of my inking. It's an amazing pen, and I start at a line thickness of 30 as well. I don't know if that's anything you're interested in knowing, but you know it now. Okay. So I start off with the chin, usually, and I don't know. I really seriously debated, as I say I don't do sketches, I seriously debated not doing a sketch for this, because I really end up getting very focused when drawing. It's just bad. So, and I figured line work over a sketch is just kind of brainless. So, I mean, like, doesn't take a lot of brain power, generally speaking. Garen, that thing keeps popping back in there. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, here. It's this. I got you. No, dude, I fixed it. I fixed it. The ghost of Christmas past. Over there. I subbed you on the YouTube gaming. Hello. Oh, thank you, Galaxy. Slow, if you could draw free art, would you? If I could, I would. And I actually do in when I do giveaways, but it just, if I take requests, it's just too much and I cannot handle it. I get overwhelmed easy, so that's a thing. Anyway, so you heard me double tap there, and that is because if you hold shift, it keeps it on the line. I don't know if that's for other programs, but
for this one. Boy412 asks if you're still on a Mac.
Yes, I am still on a Mac. My brother actually created me something called a Hackintosh, so it's a Mac, but it's Windows software, so that it's cheaper, because those things get really expensive. And also, too, they're upgradable and all that kind of good stuff as well. I don't know a thing about it, so don't ask, but Garen does. Okay, so that's our jawline here. And then I'm going to collapse those two, so now they're one layer. And I'm going to give him a jawline. Jawline! Stronger than my jawline. Sharper than my lines when I... Oh my gosh, I forget what that rap song is. Is that fairly decent? I don't know. I don't know. Usually with guys, I do really sharp jawlines because, they're guys. They need a chiseled jaw. That needs to be a thing. So, alright, so let's go ahead and get there. Okay, here we go. Okay, I also have a couple of questions that came in via Twitter too, so I want to get to those as well. Just a couple of them that were done beforehand. Okay, so there's our jawline. Kind of a big jawline, but that's okay. He's got more of an elongated. He's got more of a long face. I have the same thing. So you know what we might do? I'm gonna go ahead and do a free transform on this baby, and I'm just gonna elongate it just a little bit. I'm gonna squish it just a little. Problem with doing that too much is the lines get kind of goofy with the free transform for some reason.
He asked if you were still on Minecraft Amino.
Oh, am I still on Minecraft? I am, but I don't use Amino much. I don't know. I stopped doing it after my phone broke. That's a really long and very pitiful story. Maybe one day I will share it, but it's just first world problems. Really bad. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now what else do I do? My brain is going crazy. Oh, the next thing that I do is my eyeballs. So let's get some eyeballs in here. First, let's get a layer that works. Get some eyeballs going. And usually eyeballs are sharp, like they're thicker at the top. But for guys, I don't like to do too thick because, I mean, guys don't have like lush lashes. That's not a guy thing. Generally, I mean, they might, but when drawing, that's really gets close to feminine quickly, I've noticed. It's a dangerous line to walk. And, so yeah, do a little... Is that called the cornea right there? I don't know. I always do one there. And then the eye squishes when it's smiling, and he said he wanted a smile. So, we're going to squish it just a little. Kind of squish it. Don't want to do an eye that's square, though. I want to kind of round it out here and keep it going. You laughing over there?
Why the long face?
Why the long faces? I love that Harry Potter quote. I don't know if that's what you meant, but why the long faces? Oh, it's Rachel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rachel, have you ever seen Harry Potter? I think I've discussed this with you, and I don't think you have, if memory serves me right.
Oh, so it's not
But that is like
I feel like that should be a quote.
It is. Why the long faces? Remember when they're going through the bus? No?
No, I know that it is one.
Oh. I got you. Okay, so I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy, Bob.
Boy 412 asks why you've been off YouTube for so long.
And that is because we have been working on our full-featured animation, which happens to be a musical, which I'm super excited about. And that, because it's a musical, it takes a lot of writing, which we actually recently finished the writing for it. And now we're scripting and designing and doing all kinds of character stuff. So really excited about that. There's gonna be more information coming out on that probably soon. And I might do more videos. I don't know. I might get back into it. It just takes a lot of time, and I'm kind of doing a lot more commissions than I used to, or than I have been, and so that's just been taking a lot of my time recently. But I might do like little animations or something, like little, just one of those still ones. I don't know why I've spent so long in that particular eye corner. It's my brain keeps going crazy. Welcome back, the Galaxy Demon. Fantastic name. 10 out of 10. Okay, so here's the eyeball. Excuse me. Okay, and we're gonna do a little eyelid thing going on there. Little eyelid. Whenever I forget those eyelids, I regret it. Okay. So I'm gonna I'm gonna flip it horizontal, and I'm gonna hit that shift again. I'm gonna run it over. Perfect. These eyeballs are a little small for this face, so I'm gonna collapse the two. Well, yeah, I'm gonna collapse the two. Why not? And then I'm gonna make them a little bigger. So and pick a spot in the middle of the face here, more down
Rachel
the bottom.
Said that she's seen 2 movies, and that wasn't a reference.
Oh, okay. She's seen 2. Rachel, I feel like that is a book series that you would really like. I don't know if you like the 2 movies, maybe you didn't. The first ones, if they're the first ones, are like really slow, which, I mean, I get that I'm slow, but that's slow. But I mean, they're good. They're you know, enduring, I guess is what you'd call it. Okay, so my next thing that I'm going to work on here is I usually put in the nose next. And noses constantly kick my booty because they're noses, and how do you draw a nose? I don't know. It's really crazy. Some people are like, oh, you just draw a circle and then you draw around that circle. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. So what I do is I start with the bottom of the nose, and I do it a million times because I'm never happy with the first 10 I do. And throw some nostrils in there. I don't want 2 big nostrils because then it borders on kind of crazy. But, okay. Unless you're, like, angry. You don't want a flared nostril, though, like on a normal one, usually. Okay. And then I just do this. And close up, this stuff always looks really wrong. But then when you get further in, like you zoom out, do a little bridge over the top, and we'll do like that. And ends up looking okay. And then what I learned from YouTube is you make the bottom line, whatever the bottom is, you make it a little thicker. And then that gives it some weight, some line weight, or whatever you want to call it. And it just gives you an idea that, okay, that's the bottom and this is the top kind of thing. Those nostrils, though.
Boy 412 says you should do an animated life story, like Odd Ones Out or Jaden Animations.
Oh, like a Draw My Life kind of thing?
I think he just means like a story, like they.
Oh,
do.
just a story.
Just a story.
I've done those in the past. I did one for man, these nostrils. Okay, so this is what I do when I'm having trouble with these nostrils. You ready for a life hack? You go copy, paste, and then you flip it. Booyah. That, my dears, is called cannibalism, and that is frowned on in most societies. I don't know why I am quoting Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but I just did.
Sheets
Okay.
Graphics says, OMG slow. You're so picky.
What can I say? I am picky. It happens. It happens.
The Galaxy Demon says, I hate noses too when I draw.
No one knows how to do them. Sorry, that was really bad, but I think it's late or something, because that was bad. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to play with his nose anymore. I promise. I lied. I'm going to play with it some more. Give me a second. Okay, that's okay. We're going to make it a little bigger, though, because I feel like it's a little too dainty for his face. He needs a manly nose. This guy needs a manly nose, man. He's a man. He needs a good nose. Okay, we're going to try that, but I don't promise anything. I might come back to it. In fact, I'm going to make it a little bigger. I feel like it flares out too much or something. Let's fix these little flares, because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is why I hate noses. I'm never happy with them. Okay. Okay. So, I'm actually going to just twist it a little. Oh, you know what? I know what the problem is. Gotta love these digital tools. I'm gonna make it just a little fatter, a little longer here, and then we're gonna twist it up like this, because what happens is when you smile, your nose probably in real life doesn't do this, but in cartoon land that helps kind of give the face a little bit more of a smile. He wants a close smile, so we're gonna give him a close smile. Okay, let's give him a close smile. Let's do it right now, because we can. Okay. Don't want anything too creepy.
I was gonna say.
It gets creepy, believe me. Okay, this nose needs to come down. Alright, nose, you just need to just chill. No, you need to go back up. I lied. Okay. And then we don't want to go too far down with these ends here. But you have a lip, you know? Kind of goes down, does it? I don't know.
X-Fin just donated.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, X-Fin! Love your art. Have a little donation. Thank you. Aw, that's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Alright. I have like a little thing I set up, but it might not be working. Okay. So now, we're gonna go down like this. Ah, there it is! X-Men just donated too! Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You are the first donator! Because I just set it up today. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay. A smile. But you might have noticed that something is very wrong missing from this, and that is a bottom lip. He needs a lip. Don't want to go too crazy. Okay. Stares at it like I'm staring into space. I think this needs to turn around. Yeah, I'm feeling it. We'll get rid of that, and then we'll kind of, because that nose is going that way, so I also want that smile to go that way as well.
AMPN Gaming asked if anyone's gotten mad at art that you've made for them.
Mad at it? I mean, when talking about like commissions and stuff, I mean, there's not always the best experiences. I've had really good experiences with people, you know, when selling artwork, but it happens. You know, people might get frustrated or something. Sometimes, usually it comes with the communication's not that great. And
Bree, your answer is no. Everything I make is perfect.
Everything I've made, everyone's been happy with. No, it's not true though.
Well,
for the most part, yes, everybody's been happy, and that's the goal, obviously. But not always reality, sadly, but it's cool. Okay. So here we are with a person with no eyeballs, which looks a little scary, if I'm honest, so let's fix that. So we've got the eyelids here, so let's give him some pupils, because, my gosh, that's not a class I'm showing up to. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was exceptionally awful. Okay, so around these, I want to make sure that there's enough up at the top, so. And I always do these lines pretty thin on the inside, because, I mean, we're going to color them and stuff, but generally, that is a monstrous eyeball. So let's see about just making it tinier. bring it down a little more and over. Okie dokie. Okie dokie dokie. Okie dokie dokie does. And let's see if we can't do that. Alright, now that's a little better. I just got texted. We're good. I don't know why I had to check that. Okay. I'm gonna just move these down a little more. I feel like I'm ruining this circle. Like, I felt like it was good before, and now I'm just, because I had to play with everything, I just did something awful to it. But that's okay.
So, probably gonna butcher the name, but Zellogram asks if you're gonna stream until you color it.
Yes, I'll stream it all the way through. I'll stream it till the end, which will hopefully be an hour. We're already 20 minutes in, so maybe not. Okay, I gotta hurry up. I gotta pick up the pace here. Ooh, I spit on my screen. That was lovely, and you didn't need to know that. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get the eyeball in here. What are you laughing at over there, Garen?
No. The Mr. Troller asks, who's your favorite artist?
Who's my favorite artist? I'd have to say one of my favorite artists, because I have a lot of favorite artists, but one of my favorite artists, and actually an inspiration for me, was Inkbite. Oh, man, I just love his work. He does the most amazing digital paintings ever, and man, his work has inspired mine over the years. Definitely. He's just done a lot of Minecraft art. Still does. Works for some servers, actually, I believe. I feel like the circle needs, like, it's like on drugs or something, because it's not.
Rachel says the boy needs hair. He can't go bald.
He's too young to go bald. That's okay. I'll give him hair. I got him. Don't worry about it. I got him. I'm gonna give the dude some luscious locks. Okay. Well, it's an iris. It's not an amazing, I guess it's the pupil. It's not amazing pupil, but it is a pupil, so that's good. Okay. I'm going to collapse these, and then I'm going to copy and paste, because eyes are impossible to get both right on the other side. I mean, maybe there's some wizards out there that can do it, but that is outside of my magic class. Okay.
Exoplays asks if this will be a video on YouTube after
yes.
it's done.
Yes, it will be, and that's actually one of the reasons why I like to stream on YouTube, is because it's out there forever and ever. Amen. And if anybody ever wants to come back and look at it, it's always there. So I like that. Okay. Looks at it from a distance. It's good. Let's go ahead and collapse them. Give them some highlights. Some simple highlights, nothing too fancy. And here we are. Now, the second thing I do, I'm going to actually, I've been just collapsing these, so, because if I don't, it gets to like hundreds of layers, and it's just not pretty. I never know where anything's at. Alright. And he wants
Mr. Raffanon asks, what Inktober drawing is this?
Oh, Inktober is the 31st Inktober, so it's the last one. But did you ask me what Inktober is?
What's the inspiration behind this one? Because don't you get little...
Usually they do, but I kind of dropped that off, and I did these as giveaways as the last Inktober drawing, so this is just a giveaway winner. I'm drawing his profile, so yeah, usually they do, but the giveaway went kind of viral, so I was like, well, I still gotta do giveaways, and people were asking me if I was just giving away one, and I was like, well, I'll just finish off the Inktobers that way. So that's what I did. Alright, and then for guys, I always do thick brows. Girls don't. I do thinner ones, because, I mean, my brows might be thickish, but they're still thinner than most dudes, I would presume. Maybe not. Generally, as a rule of thumb. What am I doing? I'm copy and pasting. My gosh. Usually this is a faster experience, but I'm going slow because I feel pressure. What's this? Why is this a thing? Why is that a thing? Did I seriously draw that? No. We're good. We're good, dude. We're good. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this. And pull that over. And to give it to break up that symmetry, and to give it some more character, let's go ahead and just move that eyebrow up. Like, he's like, what's up? What's new? I just found ice cream. I found $20 in my pocket, and this is the best day ever. Or I'm posing for an uncomfortable picture. We're still trying to decide.
I feel like $20 in your pocket is a little bit more excited than that.
Yeah, I feel like that's like, oh, great. Actually, this could be one of those faces where it's like, Mom just asked me to do the dishes, and...
I got away with not doing them.
And I waited long enough, she did them for me. No, just kidding. Okay. Now, our mom does not do that, by the way. It's just one of those things I think people do. Okay.
Zelogram said that you draw so quick. I love it, though.
I draw quick? I feel like I'm drawing slow, so I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. So now, ready for this? We're gonna draw an ear. And I know that's irritating. Okay, sorry, that was a bad one. That didn't even make any sense. Okay, so for guy ears... I was actually gonna say that. It didn't make any sense.
No.
It was irritating? It's like we're related or something. Okay, so guys' ears are usually a little bigger, but people don't like ears that stick out sometimes. Sometimes people are like, oh, that's cute, it adds character. And then some people are like, can you please move those in because they're sticking out like, you know, Dumbo. And I'm not Dumbo, so if anybody doesn't know what Dumbo is, I can't help you. No, just kidding. Dumbo is a movie.
Getting old.
I know. I am getting old. I didn't even like that movie. That was old when I was growing up. Okay.
That's what everyone says.
And that's what everyone says. Yes, that's true though. Dumbo frightened me.
Yeah.
You frightened me. Okay. So I feel like this is not working for me. Let's try this again. My life is just... I do a lot of undos, and that is the ticket for doing clean work. You just sit there and you just undo until the cows come home. And then you undo some more, because it's so fun. You gotta keep doing it. Alright, well, it's an ear. And then I always kind of fill it in, make it a little bit thicker here, generally. So, give it some thickness. Some thickness.
Hypixel asks if you've ever met Inkbite in real life.
He lives in Australia. Maybe one day. That would be super dope.
PanoXX says hi.
Hi, PanoXX! Hi. Welcome to the stream. I feel like this ear looks almost upside down. But it's cool. We're going with it anyway. Copy, paste, free transform, flip horizontally.
How do you draw those so identical on each side, Brie?
It takes talent and a lot of practice. I mean, to get eyes as identical and eyebrows as identical as that, and a nose as symmetrical as that one, you have to be really good. It takes a lot of practice. Hours and hours. Prepare yourself. Okay. This is... I'm gonna butcher this name once more. I gotta look at it. It's down here. Floshke? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Floshke. His channel link is down in the description if you're interested in that. Okay. I think that's good. I have two other questions that a couple of people have asked. And I should have given them to you. Okay, I'm going to collapse all of these here. And then I'm going to move on to giving him a fro. And he's got kind of a, I would say it's just kind of swooped up just a little bit. There's not a lot of like crazy body on the top, but it's swoopy. It's swoopy. So, I'm going to, I'll leave it the same size. It's no big deal. But I'm going to take down the opacity of it so that I can really see that hair. Because a lot of times I'm like, what line is that? Is that in my hair? Is that not in my hair? And it's just confusing. And so I turn it down so that it's not so intense. She uses Clip Studio Paint. I can tell I use it too. Yes, Clip Studio Paint is my favorite. I'm sorry. I'm going to go grab those questions really fast. Steven Title asks, how do you do your type of shading, and is it possible to do it in Photoshop as well? And to that, the answer is I will be showing how I do all of my artwork or all of my coloring, and I'm assuming that you can do it in Photoshop because it's easy. It's not hard. My coloring is very simple. It's not crazy. Not crazy. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Do I want to... What?
This is Max.
Oh, Max?
He's in the corner here.
Oh. Hi, Max. Got a little cameo.
He's on your shoulder, Bree.
He's on my shoulder in green. Very ugly green. He looks like a ghost of Christmas past. Okay.
You just have a dog. Sticking out your shoulder. That's normal.
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is it's foopy, but it's not crazy foopy. So I'm gonna do something like this. So hair is like, sometimes it was like, oh, that was easy, I aced that, and other times it's like, oh my gosh, will this ever end? Will I ever get anything that I actually like? And the answer is usually never. Okay. I'm gonna actually, okay, so we're gonna do, I don't know how many of these we want to do. I'm gonna actually turn that off so that it not, I have to focus here. The focus, alright? The focus. The focus, I have to focus. I have to focus. Okay. This needs to come down, because oh my gosh, that forehead. And
Max is mad at me.
he's mad at you?
Yeah, I took his squeaky toy away.
You took his squeaky toy.
I mean, I can give it back if you want.
No, I mean, please don't, but I'm glad you took the fall for that. Okay.
He was glaring at me.
Oh no. I feel like this is going nowhere. We're going to try again.
Your dog is so cute.
Oh my,
His
dog.
other friends
Yeah, he's so cute. He's so cute for a what?
I'm not gonna finish
A
that.
mutt? That's what I heard.
For how mean he is.
Oh, for how mean he is?
Yeah, to my dog. Man.
Your dog is like 8 times his size.
Max is not happy at me, man.
Well, yeah, you took his toy. I'd be
Growling
pretty
at me. He's like,
pretty mad too. I
hate
feel
you. That's what he's thinking right now.
I'm gonna beat you in every competition. You go out with the boys, you better get my permission. Oh no, I take that batch, you can't go. House is on tonight, and that's my favorite show.
That was so yesterday, Bree.
No, dude, that was like last 8 years ago.
He's trying to get the toy.
Well,
Here,
you done took it from him.
You can have it, Bree. Take that toy, and now you can be the.
I can be the one
main one.
that goes under. Ooh.
It's alright, man.
He actually won't. That went up over my fan. This is so cool. And I have a hot tall ceiling. I'm sorry. I just freaking freaked out there for a second. We're good. Okay. So I feel like this hair is interesting. It's interesting. You know, a lot of the times these profiles are, there's a lot of them that are really the same. And so hair is really the only thing that I get to really experiment with, and one of the features on that I can play with and make it unique. So I always try to make each one a little different. Okay, now that we got that in there, let's see what we can do here. I do references for this stuff all the time. I'll reference art. Other art I've done, the hair, I'm just like, this, I want this hair to be like that. And that's my dog, because I chose to give it back to him like an idiot. Okay. So I don't think they're close cut on the sides. He's got a little lift there, but not much. So let's go ahead and finish this off. Is that too much? I feel like that's way too much. Okay. So let's give him, I don't think he has sideburns, but we're gonna give him just a little bit of ones. I guess he was gonna be loud with it, Garen.
What's up?
I guess he was gonna be loud with it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Panel XX asks if you do fan art.
Fan art. Not generally. I don't think. I don't generally have time. I do try to do some friends, like for birthday gifts and stuff, but sometimes I don't have time, and that happens a lot more than I'd care to admit. But no, I don't generally do fan art. No, not generally. But I guess I did. I don't know what you would classify as like fan art. Like, oh, I drew my favorite show or something. Like, I've done stuff like that in the past. Like, I drew a Harry Potter wallpaper that was made from like a Minecraft twist on it. Did that once. So like, I've done that kind of thing, but not very often. I'll put it like that.
The Pokemon player asks, what programs would you recommend that are free for beginners?
I am not sure, to be honest with you. I'm almost like, I almost feel like free trials, as stupid as that is, are like one of the best things ever because you get to really get a feel for a good program. The problem is that when I was first starting and I worked in like GIMP, which maybe was super bad, but it's like you can't really give it a very good feel for what you want because the program can't do what you want it to do. But there's free programs out there. I have not come across one that I would recommend yet. I don't really use anything but this one. I used Illustrator to begin with, which was an amazing program for learning on because you could work with a mouse. But it's just, I don't know. Garen, can you think of any ones that would be good to recommend?
You know, I'm really not sure.
Don't know.
I just haven't done any research mostly because Manga Studio, instead of Clip Studio Paint, is still a fairly cheap option, you know?
Yeah, it is fairly cheap.
Sometimes it even goes down to free occasionally.
Yeah, like $16. It was on sale last year for like 16 during.
Yeah.
They do Black Friday sales a lot.
Yeah, I think that's what I would suggest is just trying to
buy one, but
try
I think
and get a cheap
there's
copy
like Manga Studio. There's like GIMP that's out there, and GIMP is said to be able to do everything that the other art programs can do. I don't know if that's true. Again, I was not able to really get that one to work, but very well, should I say. It took a lot to figure it out. I think it's like the Blender of the art world, so you know, it's a lot of stuff in it, but it's in weird places. But I'm sure there's something out there, and if I ever find one, I will be sure to let folks know, because I feel like it's one of those questions that happen a lot. Okay, so there's the hair. Let's give it some body.
Pano S. Wow. I cannot speak right. Pano XX asks who you're drawing.
Okay, I am drawing
I know you guesses, but
Floshke, and he won the last Inktober drawing, which is what this is. And yes, I realize it's November, but I'm still silver for a reason. Sorry. And what was the other thing?
That was it.
Oh, that was it?
Spit any words out.
Oh, I thought you sounded like you were gonna say more, and I was like, okay, I gotta hurry to spit this out because you got more. Okay. I feel like let's just sit back and see if that is. Yeah. No. We're good. I'm gonna add. I always add like these little. Because it's not perfect. It's hair. It needs some randomness in its life. It needs some randomness. I'm always adding corners to things that probably don't need corners, but I feel like it needs corners, so. Okie dokie. No, that was an unnecessary corner. Okay. So now, I'm going to copy and paste because sometimes I go, you know, this doesn't need to happen. So I'll do a copy and paste version of the head, just in case I decide to change stuff. I never draw the top of the head because, as you saw, it wasn't necessary. Oh my gosh, did he just run into the green screen? Dog is out of control. Okay. Okie dokie. So now we can pull this in to view and take a peek at it. Our plaster piece, and feel like this should actually
Stream is kind of lagging a bit.
Lagging? It's lagging?
Yeah, it's just internet's kind of going in and out a little bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, I need to do this. This needs to happen. Sorry about that.
Zellogram says that his favorite is on drawing color.
Oh yes, color's so fun. I can't wait to get to color. I usually like suffer through line work so that I can color. That's usually my life in a nutshell. Okay, so this is a head and neck profile, so I'm just making it big so that we can make it big because we can.
AMPM asks if you're going to be doing any more of these live streams.
I don't know. Is this something that you would be interested in seeing? I don't know. I don't know if this is entertaining to you. I might. I don't know. Can I say I don't know? Because I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that because that's screwed me up. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing some openings here, which is not good when coloring the way I color. Okay. Does this need like just some slight things like that? No, we're gonna keep it clean. We're gonna keep it clean. I'm sorry about the lag, guys. I apologize. I can't help it. It's my internet. Okay, that's a really thick neck. Whoa. Let's hold up here. Okay, we're gonna give him his stuff. And what was he wearing? I think it was a jacket. Yeah, he's wearing a jacket, so or just a slight hoodie. So let's go ahead and we'll just see the top of it. We won't actually see anything more than that. And all right, so that's done. I don't think I need to do anything like that. Oh, I'm gonna add just a little more thickness here because that looks wrong. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. There it is. That is it. Now, time for the drum roll. Because, here we go. I'm gonna collapse this in. Hop it up. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I made it a reference layer. I made this line work a reference layer. And again, I don't know what other programs are. I'm sure every program has something like this. I couldn't imagine they don't. I should say that this particular program is known for really nice line work. There's some stuff in this program that's supposed to be really good, but okay, anyway. Sorry, I have to look and make sure that it's something I'm okay with. Okay, anyway, so I made it into a reference layer, and then I'm gonna go below it, and I added this, and I actually have a how I color tutorial that I go into deeper of how this functions and works, but I had added a do not exceed line of reference layer, and then I just turn that on. I pop that on the G pen, and then what happens is I'm gonna just take a peek. He's got a dark brown, almost black hair. So okay, so what we're gonna do is grab a dark brown. What is it again?
JS Schult or J Schult 123 says that he's totally enjoying it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay, so now I'm gonna color this puppet in. And it's too brown. If we're honest here, come on, let's be real. It's too brown. I am actually, because I don't trust the coloring on this particular thing, I'm going to open a new window, and I'm just going to set it off to on my other screen, my other monitor here, so that I can just keep an eye on those colors, because they get a little wonky on these things. Okay, so this really, okay, for one, this little piece is not cool. Okay, let's turn that on and off. This is just not good enough for me. So let's grab all these little pieces and make them darker. We're gonna go with that color. We're just gonna draw in all the hair pieces. Grab these two little here. These two little here. And I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing something that's necessary. And I keep seeing it, and it's going to drive me crazy. If not, I'm going to flip this the other way. Yeah, but this, hang on. Let's just grab this lower half here. Grab some of the smile, too, just in case. A little more of this. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of selecting it, because what I'm going to do, oh wow, does that look like a mess? I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to select the whole thing. Selecting the whole thing. Bring it in. And I'm actually, what I'm going to do, because he has, it's like more of a longer face. Oh, missing a little of the ear. Let's see if we can't take that with us. No. What?
P Mustang says hi, new stream.
Hi, welcome. We're getting ready to boogie down. Is that? Wow, that's an old one. With some color. I'm just doing some last minute. I really needed to change this because I'm slightly me. And a second, I'm gonna make it just a little bigger. I felt like that needed to just crunch just a little bit. I'm gonna.
Zellogram says, your coloring is so satisfying.
Aw. Thanks. Okay. Now we're going to get to some serious stuff. We're going to get to the meat of the equation. We're going to get to the meat. Wow, that looks so weird when that happens. That looked weird. I was like, oh my god. Okay, so let's grab this. I don't know why I always say, let's grab this and let's grab that. It's a habit, alright? It happens. There's a question that Sheep's Graphics also sent in prior to the stream that I want to get to as well. But I want to put these base colors in first. So give me a second. Let's pop these babies in. Let's pop these babies in. Alright, let's go take a peek at his skin color. Okay, it's white. So but it's more of a paler white. So let's grab some of these colors. Give him some. Oh, that's not. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Give him that nice. This is actually, it's not gonna be so pale when I'm done with it. Hopefully, deep brown eyes too. So pop those in as well. Don't want to forget the ears and the neck. And he had a gray shirt on. But I was noticing from his profile he had some green, so I'm wondering if I should do green instead. Nope, we're going gray. No, we're going green. Is it blue? Maybe it's blue. Ooh, we're going gray. It's safe. It's blue?
I think so.
Okay, we're gonna go like a. We're gonna go. How about a grayish blue? Like go in between.
Nice.
Okay, so we didn't have to make a decision on that. We just went 50-50. That is the kind of decision I wish happened more often. Okay, now we're gonna go with some brown eyeballs. Let's get some really dark brown here. But we'll give it a little more saturation. We'll give it some more saturation. Okay. Okay, so that's the base colors. And that is just where the party begins. But first, I wanted to get to a question that Sheep's Graphics asked over on Twitter. It's Artist Austin, at Artist Austin is his Twitter. And he asked, what got you into graphic art and who is your biggest inspiration? And I already said who my biggest inspiration was, and just to recap, that is Inkbite. He was one of my big inspirations. But what actually got me into artwork, there was this guy over on Twitter. His name was Mr. Ender Knight, and he made the bombest looking profiles ever. They were renders, and they were just really super unique and fun, and he made me one, and I was just so excited about it. He made them free, but he took like requests and stuff, but like everybody wanted something from Mr. Ender Knight because his stuff was just, it still is quite unique, I think. He's no longer, I don't think he is, he lives in Australia, I think, or something, but he no longer is online anymore. He's still, the account's still there, he's not active anymore. And anyway, I don't know why I went off on that trail, but anyway, his stuff was just super unique and fun. And anyway, to thank him, I wanted to make him something, and artwork was something that I was experimenting with for my thumbnails. And so I thought I would show you what my first art was because I have it here. And okay, so just as a disclaimer, it's not amazing. And I used a render as a reference, and it's not amazing. But we all come from somewhere. So this was my first drawing I ever did. I called it freehanded drawing. It was a reference of something, and it was just a vector art. I did it with a mouse, and yeah, that was the baby. But I got so excited, when I sent it to him. I mean, obviously this isn't amazing, but I sent him. I sent him it anyway on Twitter, and he was like so over the top fun. It was like, oh my gosh, I just love it so much, and obviously not amazing, but he okay. Break from the story, 5 seconds. I just want to explain what I'm doing. I'm going to put in some gradients. I break down coloring into 3 chunks. Base, 4 chunks. My bad. Base is unnecessary, but it is kind of necessary. Base, gradients, shadows, highlights. Broken into those 4 things, and that's it. It's just those 4 steps: base, gradients, shadows, highlights. That's it. Those are the 4 things. That's all I do. Nothing super crazy. Every program has some kind of gradients thing that you can throw in there. It's like that used to be in those paint programs that used to come with those monster behemoth T-Rex computers that used to get those little cubes. It's gradients. Gradients is just fundamental. So I open a new layer. I'm going to grab that base color. I'm going to go over, this is the gradients that Clip Studio offers, and it gives me the ability to drop in the colors I want. So I'm going to throw in that one as my base, and then I'm going to go a little darker. And when I go a little darker, I also am going to go a little bit more warm, because we're going into our we go warmer. The darker we go, the warmer we go, and the lighter we go, the cooler we go. The cooler we go. No, in when it comes to our shades here. So go a little warmer, just like that. I'm going to grab it. And usually the darker you go, the little adjustments are major. 2 is just a little. I'm going to go up, and we're going to go cooler on our scale. And then we're going to pop that in. And voila. Now he's got some shading. I don't know if you actually can see that, but that actually works. Okay. Now I'm going to do a new layer on top of that. I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab a multiply layer. I create a new layer and I put it on multiply, which basically just multiplies whatever color it is. And that really helps keep the gradients alive. So I'm going to grab the darkest color. And then I'm going to make it a little see-through. I'm going to up the opacity on it, because it'll be really dark. Like, that's full. And that's just too much. So we're gonna back it down. We're just gonna start filling it in where the dark would be. And if we can create more dark too, if we're like, oh my gosh, that really needs to have. And then a lot of this stuff you won't see until the highlight goes in, because the highlight is really going to help us get the definition of where these lines are, because it's so dark. But highlights are like my favorite part of the whole ordeal, so I always save it for last. And I kind of think it helps saving it for last. I don't know what it helps saving it for last, but I feel like it helps. Okay, so anyway, back to my story. Well, you know what? The one thing I forgot, I'm going to go back into the line work layer, and I'm just going to pop in a couple of these little defining layers. Okay, now that I've done that, oh shoot, I'm going to go grab the darkest layer here. Okay, so anyway, back to my story. He was just so over the top supportive of it. He was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And it wasn't amazing, but it made me feel so good. I wanted to do more of it, and it was a way of kind of connecting with the community. Anyway, so I had, as I was drawing his skin, I was like, oh, you know what would be really cool? A face where the ender eye like is broken through, like it's a normal face, but it's cut away to reveal an ender head. And I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. So there was this guy who needed a profile, but he didn't have a skin yet, and he had ender in his name, and it was like so perfect. I was like, oh dude, no worries if you don't have a skin, because I have this idea for you. And he's like, yeah, go for it, because it's just free, you know. So I made him this. I will show you. I made him this. And wow, is that not the most gorgeous thing you ever seen in your life? I made that for him, and that was a thing. So yeah. Anyway, I did a lot of art after that. I opened up my requests or whatever, and then people requested stuff. And then when requests got to be a bit too much, I was like, okay, something's got to change here, because I can't keep up with this stuff. And they're obviously in some kind of demand, even though they weren't amazing. I mean, you saw what they look like. That's what they look like, really, pretty much. But I was like, you know, these requests are just gonna be too much. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna charge for these, what is like my rock bottom price that I would charge? Like, and there's fees with you know, with PayPal and stuff. So I figured my rock bottom price was $2.50. I was like, that's worth the PayPal transaction fee. So then what I did to market it is I started doing giveaways. And what giveaways did was they did actually several things. They gave me an ability to really create a add to my portfolio, and you know, you can give it to somebody, which is really a cool feeling. But obviously that's a given. Yes, Garen?
The wolf dog said that your second, or that was the profile or what was the second piece of art that you showed?
Oh, the second profile I did?
Yeah, he said that's cool.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, but those giveaways did a few things. They were, because what happens when people like retweet and stuff, obviously that goes on to other people's timelines, and then it kind of gets your work out there a little bit. Even if there's like only 15 retweets, that's several people that could see the work. And so I ended up, surprisingly, I don't think this was the goal, but I surprisingly got art inquiries off of that. And people, because I had an old boss that always said, people won't come if they don't know about it. And I think that's kind of the idea with artwork, is that people won't buy it if they don't know it's there, if they don't know that you do it. So the goal is to get it out there so people can see it. And giveaways ended up doing that, and I was pleasantly, that was a really cool thing that happened. I don't think I did it on purpose, like I said. It was pretty accidental, I'm not gonna lie, but it ended up being kind of cool. So anyway, that's kind of where I started, and you know, I especially recently, I've had a lot of people. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the highlights here. And so I'm just gonna find a highlight. Again, we're gonna go with something cooler. I usually go just a little bit lighter than what is necessary, because then I can always add that and take away the opacity of something. If it's just too much, then I just make it a little more opaque. Anyways, back to my story. I've had a lot of people asking me like, hey, how do you price your artwork? Or, you know, how much should I charge for my artwork, you know, or something. And my answer every time is, I never price my artwork based off of what I think it's worth, but instead I price it off of what people will pay. And I do this not like to immediately you think, oh, it's scamming people. No, it kind of allows the customer to pick the price, and obviously you're not gonna say how much would you pay, like how much it costs, how much would you pay? No, that's not what I'm looking to do. But I'll test the waters. So I never overcharge and I never undercharge when doing that, because the customer is always, you know, and by doing that I've tested the waters. So I started with the $250 price, and then when my artwork started getting better and the demand started rising, then I rose the price slowly. So it went from $250 to $5, and then that way I never had to close my commissions, because I hate turning away work. I don't know about you, but if somebody wants to buy something, I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. I don't like turning away work. It's like the worst feeling ever. I can't do it. And this is really super light, so I'm going to take that down just a little bit by taking away that opacity. Anyway, and I hate that. So what I do now is I will raise my prices if I'm getting to the point where I can't keep up, and that slows down the flow. And then I bring them up, or I bring them down when I want more work, and that way I never have to close my commissions. So that's the way I do it, and that's the way I market it with those kinds of things. So anyway, that's a thing that I do. If you were curious, it's probably something you really didn't care about, but I've got a lot of people that were asking about that, so that's what I do anyway. Okay. Alright. So, yes. This is a big long answer to what I was going to say. Actually, I had a couple of things that I wanted to say, and I have it in on my phone. I apologize. Give me 5 seconds. Do you use OBS at streaming? Yes, I am using OBS to stream. I also use OBS to record too if I ever need to. Record stuff. Back when I did like speed arts and stuff. Is there anything there, Garen? That's questions or anything?
No, not really.
Okay. If you have any art-related questions or non-art-related questions, thank you, Rachel. She says I like my bandana. Thank you. If you have any questions that are like art-related or not art-related, please go ahead and ask them. I'm happy to answer anything. This coloring part's gonna go pretty quick, but I just got to keep at it here. Little by little wins the race. So, yeah, you know, the coloring really is not. I've tried, like, what I used to do when coloring is I would throw in colors and then I would mix them, and, you know, I've ended up settling on the old faithful, just throw in the gradients that is provided by the program, and it's more stockish, you know, it comes out, there's not a lot of editing room with it, but what it does provide me with, it just I don't know what it is. I end up creating the definition with the highlights and the shadows, and as opposed to the gradients, because it ends up looking really muddy. And maybe there's people that do more painterly work that it works on, but for me, it fits my line work to do simple stuff like this. And it's fairly easy. I mean, you see what it's like. It's just basically just not a lot of thinking that goes into it. You're just throwing in lines, making decisions, quick decisions on color and all that kind of good stuff. You know, another thing that I wanted to add to the pricing thing is a lot of times I see artists that are like first beginning and stuff, and they're not getting, they want to sell their work, and so they start selling their work, and then they stop because they don't get any commissions at first. Because it's true, you know, when you're first getting going, you may not get a lot of commissions. You know, you're just getting started, and I just encourage, if that's you, I encourage you to just keep going. That's what I did. I just kept going. I had the same thing where it was slow to begin with, but I just kept drawing. I kept doing giveaways. I kept drawing. I kept getting better and improving my work. And it's always, and I still do that today. Continue to try to improve and push the envelope on that, and just keep going. Because my mom has a philosophy, and I love this philosophy, and that is, get so good they want to pay you for whatever it is. And I really like that, and then that's kind of the idea with artwork, is you just get so good, people want to pay you for this stuff. And that's just, I like that better, because, you know, you're not relying on people, you know, like, because people come and go, you know, the commissions aren't always there, you know, even that you go through lulls and stuff, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to get down and I'm going to learn something new today. I'm going to do something better. I'm going to improve on something. And then you just keep going, and it gives you something to do and to keep your mind busy, at least for me.
So you look cool with your bandana.
Oh, thank you. I finally found it. Shay, my sister, nabbed my pink one, and she might know where it is. I haven't asked her, but I couldn't find it anywhere, which is like my favorite. That's like my favorite bandana. So, but I drug this one out of my dresser today. I'm like, I'm gonna wear this. Okay. So, now for skin, I do not do a multiply layer for skin, and because I just don't think it looks that great. I don't know why. I try it, and I just don't think multiply layers work that. I just don't think they look very good. Okay, so he's very pale right now, and his head is really pink. So to fix that, I'm going to grab that pink layer. I'm going to go a little bit more red. I'm going to grab a soft airbrush, and I'm just going to airbrush in some color to his cheeks. Obviously, I don't want to do too much, and I don't do pink for guys. I do more of a red look than I do anything, and I just keep going just like that. And then I give him a red nose, give him a red lip, and if it's a little too obnoxious, I just tone it down a little bit. Seems like it needs just a little bit more on this side. Alright, so now he's got some red. He's got a redder face than he started with. Alright, I'm going to do a new layer. I'm going to grab this up here, and I'm just going to do a layer like this. And then I'll just like I said, like I did with the other stuff, I fixed it with I adjust the opacity. And that's good too, because it allows the gradients to kind of shine through, which is always nice. So I always do it dark enough to do that. So, alright. Now, well, actually, I'll address that when I get there, because that's actually works with it. So, anyway. Some people ask me, like, how long I've been drawing. I just recently got that question, how long I've been drawing. And to be honest with you, I never even thought I could do artwork, because I am a super hyperactive person. I mean, you hear me talk. I talk really fast. I'm in a constant state of moving. And so, all the way growing up, I've always wanted to draw, but I just didn't think that was ever an option for me, because, you know, I move a lot, and I just had no patience with pen and paper. I just can't do it. And so I just always thought, no, and also that, on top of that, like, my hands shake, and they still do from time to time. I get shaken really easily, and I don't know, maybe it was just on pen and paper. I was like so wanting to do it, my hands started shaking or something, but I just felt like I just never could, because of how shaky I was, and still am today. But with digital artwork, and when digital came along, I started with a mouse and vector, and I found that I didn't have to have a steady hand when using a mouse, as ironic as that might sound, or kind of like an oxymoron, because you're like mouse, oh my gosh, but it's vector work, so the lines are very controlled, and that gave me the ability to really adjust the lines really nicely. I don't know if you've ever played with vector work, but there's a lot of control there. And anyway, with that, it kind of brought me into the world of drawing, and obviously I'm not using a mouse now. I have other things, but I took the vector drawing fairly far. I actually have saved here, if you're interested in seeing my last drawing with a I didn't get my first drawing with the pads, but I do have my last drawing with a mouse. If that's, let me know in the chat if that's something you want to see, and I could show you that. But anyway, there's places you can take with a mouse. People are like, oh, I don't have a pad or anything, you know, I can't do it. I was like, oh, you can start with a mouse. You can start with a mouse, although it is with Illustrator. But you'd be surprised, like, if you get like CS5 of Illustrator, which is like kind of old, but it's cheap and it has all the pieces and parts. It's like a disc copy. You'd probably find one. I don't know if that's an option, but okay. So it looks white. It isn't actually white. And again, we're just gonna adjust that opacity so it's not. There's like this sweet spot between really bright and like obnoxious to just the right kind of brightness, and you almost gotta kind of get that feel of, yeah, this is too much or this is too little. Sometimes it just takes. I get so close. Most artists, I don't think they get this close when drawing. They always keep it big picture, but for me, I'm always like right in the nitty gritty, and sometimes things happen. But that's why I'm always backing up and looking at it. Okay. Anyway, what was I talking about, Garen?
Rachel said sure. Oh, and the Mark donated $2.
Oh, thank you, the Mark. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
And Rachel wants to see the mouse picture.
Wants to see the last mouse picture? Dun dun dun. Okay, let me just finish highlighting and then we'll go to that. Finish my thought here. Then we'll go to that, because it'll be interesting. Okay. You know, when I was drawing with a mouse, I did not know that. I mean, I knew that I was drawing in vector, but I feel like that's become more prominent, at least in the communities that I'm in. Because when it first started, it was just, I'm drawing with a mouse, you know, and the lines are easy to do. But now they do like mascot logos and all kinds of stuff.
Russell Teeter asks, have you ever seen artist XAMP6, aka Rupton Shines art?
No, I don't think I have. I don't think, maybe I might have seen it, but the name does not ring a bell. Is he like on Twitter or something? Where do we find him on like YouTube or Twitter, or where is that usually? I'd love to check it out. I always like seeing artists work.
Did you show the mouse picture?
No, not yet. I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready to show it. Okay. Are you ready for the mouse picture? Last drawing I did on a mouse. Are you ready for this? Okay, that's not it. That is it. That's the last one. And it has a watermark over it, like a really pretty watermark. You see that? Oh yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, that was my last one. It's pretty gnarly looking if you ask me, but there's actually a lot of details for going in. I'm pretty sure this nearly crashed my computer because I wanted to get more fancy with drawing, and what I would do is see how like those highlights, those are actually lines that I filled in. I would fill it in and then I'd fill in the line, and it's just so many lines made up this drawing, and I'm sure that there was much smarter ways to do it, but I didn't do it because, you know, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to move to a new program, and also mainly move to a new program because I wanted to expand with color more, and that just gave me no options at all. Okay, so now let's see, what do we want to do first? Let's go ahead and finish up the eyes, and then we'll go into coloring the line work, which is super easy, at least in this program. I don't know how you do it in other programs, but it's the basic concepts. I'm sure it's all there. Okay, so let's go ahead and color these eyes. I'm going to grab the colored part of the pupil, and I'm going to color it. I'm going to give it some gradients.
Zellogram says, wow, so cool.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, let's go ahead and grab. I'm gonna do a multiplied layer for this one. I don't always, but why not? Okay. I'm gonna pop these in. All right, so I do that, and then my next step. Hello, Corey Kai. Welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab this here. And let's see. Can I do this? Okay, so we're gonna do a ring around the rosy. These are actually fairly new eyes. I was experimenting with big eyes. I wanted to do big eyes, all right? But all the big eyes that I did looked scary. The person looked like freaky. And I don't like that. I don't like that. We're going to try that again. Anyway, so the person would end up looking like super creepy. And I didn't understand. I was like, why? I see Disney do big eyes. I see other people do big eyes. Why are my big eyes looking so bad? So I went and I find that if I do searches on like actual drawings of Disney type art, I can kind of see a little bit more clearly. It kind of, when seeing the animation, it can be difficult to see what lines are where and what colors are where. And I find that if I look for like fan art and stuff, they'll take those styles and they'll simplify them so I can see what it is a little better. And so I looked at a drawing. It was a drawing of Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. And I noticed that they didn't just make the eye big, they made the pupil inside of it big, so it wasn't massive amounts of color, and it gave it a little bit, it made it a little less scary. I guess, I don't know how you would say that, but less intense.
Rachel says the mouse picture really contrasts to your new work that you do with a tablet. It looks a lot more simple now, not as busy. She says that she likes your newer content way better.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. It's funny, when I switched, okay, last thing I'm going to do on these eyes, when I switched over to the tablet work, I had people going, oh, I liked your other stuff better. I liked your other stuff better. It was cleaner. Because when I went to the tablet, boy, did I have some fun with colors. And it was pretty crazy, my work. And, anyway, I've simplified it over the years, the coloring mainly, because I like it simpler. So I'm glad you like it too. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. Alright, sweet. Okay, so the eyeballs now have it's subtle, it's not massive, it's not big, and it's not pretty, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and color. I'm not going to put any gradients on this because I find that there's so much, there's just no need to do gradients on these little things here, because I don't ever do gradients on little things because you don't ever see it. There's just not enough of it to see any light or dark, and it just makes no sense. So just save a little time, and it's unnecessary anyway, so why do it? And I'm going to just add in some special lines here. And, you know, if you would just, no, actually, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color the line work now. And I'm not going to color the hair. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'll show you an example of what I'm going to do here. I have the reference layer below, and you can see it there. And there's that little pink line, and I forget what this is called. Maybe it's going to tell me. It makes it a clip at layer below is what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but that's what it does. That's its function. And then what happens is it just is going to stay within the line work of whatever's below it. So in this case, what's below it is line work, and I'll get an obnoxious color here. And if I do this, see how it's only in my lines? And if I was to take that layer off, that's what it would be, but it confines it to the layers. Obviously, that's not what we're going to do, but just to give you an idea. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and color the hair is so dark. Black works just fine. If I was to lighten that up, we would lose a lot of the definition that line work is providing the hair. So we're not going to touch the hair or the eyebrows, but what we are going to touch is any lighter colors. So the skin needs some. It would look fine with some color. Now this stuff, This can get a little bit, it can get a little intense, and I want to make sure that it's dark enough, so I'm actually going to grab this color. Need to make sure it's dark enough, so I'm actually going to darken this color up a little more. Let's try that and see how that looks. We don't have to stick with it. We can always change it, but this part can get a little bit intense because just, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can't hit with it or it's going to look kind of sloppy. So a lot of erasing and throwing in some color. Alright, and I'm not going to hit these because those are supposed to be hair, and if I was to hit them they would look like skin, and little flabs of skin there would look kind of weird, so okay. Just like so. Just like so. Alright, that's not bad. Let's go ahead, and I always use this particular color. I'm going to try that. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to make the actual nose, though. Don't mind doing these little creases and stuff. And over the eyes with this particular color as well, so that it's a little bit more subtle. But the mouth can't be subtle. The mouth has got to be nice and clean and easily seen. So I'm going to make that darker. I'm also going to make the nose darker as well, because those things just need to stay prominent within the piece. So, and that keeps their prominence. Alright, so the skin is completed. I'm going to do one underneath so I don't have to worry about the skin layer getting covered over. And I'm just going to make this just like that. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit. Ooh, you see what I'm seeing? See what I'm seeing? Where is this layer? Maybe it's right here. No, it's right here. A little bit of overdraft there. So let's see if we can't get rid of that. Okay. Actually, I thought I was going to. Well, I might as well. Okay, so I'm going to grab this dark color. And I'm just going to go over it. And you can't even see that. So it seems a little stupid, but let's just go over. We're going to keep the pupils black because it's such a dark brown. If I was to make it colored, it would just blend in too much. Oh, again, we've got a little bleed over on that one. So let's see about getting rid of that. Okay. All right. So one last addition to this profile before we get onto the background is we're going to add I feel like these need just some more highlights. And I'm playing with highlights because I was doing these kinds of highlights, but I think that they look like they're crying. So instead, I'm going to do something like that. Maybe not so great. Hey, Aiden, welcome. Oh, I don't know, Korukai. I don't know what's your Twitter? What's your Twitter? You know, sometimes, I apologize, my mind is, my memory is not amazing. I probably do, I just, not at the moment. Is that fair? I'm really sorry, I don't mean to, okay. Perfect. Now, as we put in this thing, you're gonna notice that I don't think I put any white color into the eyes, so the eyes are see-through at this moment, so I'm just giving you a heads up because that was shocking. It always shocks me every time it happens. Probably shouldn't, but it does. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that layer because it's useless. Okay, so when I put in this gradients layer, and you know what? Divulge me 1 second. I really just want to go take a peek at this guy's, oh, this does not need to be live. I'm streaming at the same time. Okay, I'm just gonna go to this guy's profile really fast and see what color he uses, and then I'll use that for the background. Yeah, it's green. So, that's perfect.
Magic.
Megastar. That's
Megastar.
Aiden.
Oh,
yeah.
He just donated $10.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Aiden. Ah, you're so nice. Thank you so much, Aiden. That is so nice of you. Oh my gosh, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thanks, man. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this background here. Green, it looks like, is what this guy's main color is, which was my instinct.
Oh,
but
Karukai? Sorry, he said that he was your first giveaway winner.
Oh, really? For like the first? Oh, yes. I remember now. I'm sorry. Wow, I am special. Awesome. Welcome. Okay, so you see what I mean? Scary, but the reason why I don't fill that in is because I can't see it. I just genuinely cannot see it. So we're gonna do, I never know if I get everything or if I don't get everything, and it's just impossible to do. So I do that after I put in like a boss. Okay, so now I grab, what I've been doing is I'll grab a lighter color, I'll bring it up quite a bit, and then I grab like a opaque watercolor brush, because I like the look of it. It's not sharp, and just, it's just subtle for the background. Do a little. The one thing I don't like doing with this brush is going over anything, because it's opaque, so stuff shines through and just looks weird. I'm not going to do any specific design for the background. I tend to just keep these pretty. Okay. Just like so. Okay. I think that just about does it for us this evening. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you like these and you'd like to see more of these, let me know. I might just donations are weird on YouTube. Yeah, they really are, but I appreciate it. Thank you again, Aiden. I really appreciate all of the super chat donators. Super really appreciate that. All those donations help fund what I'm doing, actually. So thank you very much. And for you, for tuning in and asking questions and participating in this. If this is something you'd like to see more of, let me know. I don't know if I will do these very often, but I might. I don't know if there's a big demand. I might do them. They're kind of fun. And I just set up this stream look and be ashamed just to use it once. But this background, oh my gosh. Maybe one day I'll get into that, because that was interesting. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And let me know if this is something you'd like to see more of. Okay, so I think that just about does it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later, maybe on Twitter. Thank you so much.